Speaking of adventure, and I have to think back when the seeds were planted. What really started me on my voyage was my mother. She created a whole story around Ray and Giley Doomy, which was obviously my brother and myself. She even made us backpacks, and I've been sketching a version of that backpack. They were little blue denim backpacks, and we would, 7 and 9, take out on adventures into the hinterland of Central Oregon, out to Grass Valley Canyon, to the Deschutes, the breaks of the John Day, to the Columbia, the two of us together and our faithful dog. I mean, it's very idyllic. I started reading at quite a young age, and I started reading all kinds of adventure books. But I was also at the same time reading these wonderful stories about people doing extraordinary things. It told me that just about anything that you can imagine is possible with the right preparation. There was a book called The Freedom of the Hills, which was really the backpacker climber Bible. So that's where I picked up a lot of my mountain skills. And so then I kept pushing the envelope. I'd start rock climbing. I started climbing rocks rather than just hiking down to the canyons, and then going higher and higher in Mount Hood. Was in the military, and I actually kept learning, increasing my skills, and taught in mountain training camp. And then after the military, I did a little time with Outward Bound, which was a hell of a lot of fun. And it's strange, mountaineering, climbing was always my first love. I had a friend that I rock climbed with that was an avid boater, and maybe 15, 20 times a year. So I fell into that sport head over heels. There are places you can go in a kayak, a whitewater kayak, you cannot explore. There are no trails. The only trail is the water trail. And of all the sports I've ever done, the mortality rate is higher. I mean, there's more people die kayaking because you can't breathe very long underwater. My good friend Charlie always said, and he's a really good skier and a pretty good kayaker. He goes, he'd say, well, water is a lot different than skiing on snow because it never stops. And that's the thing about whitewater, it doesn't stop, it just keeps pounding. So the chances of getting pinned are pretty big on these very difficult creeks we do. That level of risk is just a little difficult for me now. I've kind of gravitated to sea kayaking. And unless you think that's really safe, once you're out in the really big water of the ocean, you feel pretty alone out there. You don't have a bank near you.
Try to not get too...
Yeah, flamboyant. Okay, all right, ready? Are we rolling?
Yes, we have to.
Okay. We'd always go down to the Columbia River to swim. So it was an 18-mile drive, but it was a lot of fun. I saw some big kids building a raft. And I thought, cool. And I was a little tight. And rafts made me think of Huck and Jim and Tom going down the Mississippi River, and that's adventure for a boy, Huck Finn and Tom. Adventures, Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer. Notice the word that's in the title that really is the word adventure.